Christian Leadership Conference,
Switch.
But what was perhaps her biggest contribution to the movement was the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, which prioritized nonviolent protests, assisted in organizing the 1960s freedom rides, and
Are you ready,
Lyne't?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
Today to carry on.
You're live.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? This is Lyne't with the Lyne't Gray Show. I am excited for this show, y'all. I really am. Y'all just don't realize how important we actually have Black excellence all over the board today. I'm just gonna say that we got Black excellence all over the board. The reason why I say that, all of my guests are Black excellence, but like literally, I'm looking at my screen of all three people who are on here, and they have made a difference with children, with Black children in tech. And our amazing guest that we will get to, Miss Tammy Buckner, please hold tight because we got to do our Dos Minutos with Jorge, but we will definitely get back to you as soon as I do my station announcements after Dos Minutos with Jorge. So, but yeah, y'all, I'm excited about this show. So let's go on ahead and bring Jorge in so we can get started on the show.
Well, thank you. I always enjoy having 2 minutes with you all. Dos Minutos with Jorge, our Fuller for the People LLC is coming through today. My strongest advice, there's 5 key steps to negotiating your salary. Step 1 is universal with everything. You have to ask questions, whether it be the application, the interview, the offer. You don't have to accept the first offer given, even if it is something that entices you so much that you think you have to. You're not going to lose out if you have to walk away from the offer on the table. I just had to say that because there's been a social media post about a young lady that was offered $85,000 when the position was actually valued at $130,000, and they said we didn't have the time to teach salary negotiations. So number 1 is ask questions. Number 2 is comparative analysis. Know what that actual position is worth. Know what you're worth. Number 3 is to begin to look at your budget, your personal budget. That has to be account for it. So 1, you have to make sure you ask questions. 2, compare what that actual worth of that actual value. 3, then look at your personal budget. 4, list your assets. What do you bring to that company, that institution, to whatever way or whatever parameter it is? Remember, you are their client as well. So you are buying into it. So you are an asset to them. Remember, those assets have monetary values to them. So know your assets. And then number 5, make sure you value and monetize those same assets that we were talking about and put out your number. Write down your number so that way you are actually negotiating your salary, and do so in a timely manner. Don't just be like, oh, I'm going to write a negotiation, I don't like this salary, and come back 3 months later, that job is gone, somebody else has got it. So make sure you do those 5 steps. And I just gave you 5 brief steps. There's a video on my page, Jorge Fuller for the People, that is an hour long that breaks it down for you even further, especially those that are in education. I just want to make sure that we all are aware that we are to negotiate our salaries prior to, and there are some states that are mandating that every salary is posted on the job posting, and understand that by asking those questions. That's Dos Minutos with Jorge Fuller for the People and Fuller for the People LLC. Thank you, Lyne't, for always having me, and I appreciate the compliment with Black excellence. And I'm wearing all black today because it is Black History Month, and so we just gonna have to shine all the way through.
You are very welcome, and thank you. Hey, that's the reason why I'm rocking my black today. And I tried my attempt at a smoky eye. I had to go over it because I looked like somebody hit me in my eye. Makeup wasn't right. I was like, we can't be looking like I got into a fight. But I want to now see, y'all don't understand who we have. Well, you all, the 2 who are on the screen with us, they understand. But I want my audience to understand who we have on the screen. So y'all are going to hear me, give her just due and her respect. And I'm about to read Miss Tammy Buckner's bio. And I'm pretty sure she didn't put everything in here. I'm pretty sure she didn't, because we will be reading for a very long time, but she deserves that time. Miss Tammy Buckner is the co-founder and CEO of WeCode KC, WEC as in Charles, ODEKC, a nonprofit organization that focuses on exposing youth adults, young adults, and women of color to technology and skills concepts. Our mission is to create pathways to economic prosperity by providing programming and technical skills to those who are underrepresented in the technology industry, creating a pipeline of future-ready, innovative tech leaders. That's powerful. Tammy recently merged Tequity Digital, a technology solutions company she's managed for over 6 years, with the Market Base, one of KC's leading startups, to which creating Tequity Base, a technology solution and marketing agency that will target tech startups and create an entire pipeline type solution, seeing client service from inception to website. Y'all, that's powerful. App build out to launching and marketing a product and beyond. Tammy is very involved in the Kansas City tech and startup ecosystem, working with community leaders to create programs that bridge the gap and expose urban youth, girls and women to technology, cybersecurity, and computer science concepts. Now, she sent me a flyer, and she also sent me her LinkedIn. And when I tell you all, I am overjoyed about this, because y'all don't understand how absent we are in the tech industry. I took a class that was paid for by the government, that they were teaching us software engineering. And when I tell y'all, I consider myself a pretty smart person. And I was in there like, and that made me have even more of a respect, because I just know the very small fraction, like my brain can't fathom what Ms. Buckner does and what she works with our young people and teaches our young adults, women, and youth. It's powerful. So I want to welcome you to the Lyne't Gray Show, Ms. Tammy Buckner. I want to welcome you so much. And we're going to start with the question that everyone would want to know. What led you into tech? What was your original love in school that led you into this field?
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate you, Lyne't, and this entire organization and platform to be a part of. So I really appreciate it. What led me to technology? I have always been intrigued by computers and resistors and little wires and things like that. My parents purchased a computer for me and my sister, and I took it apart. Probably wasn't supposed to do that, but I did take it apart just to see what was going on the inside. I was able to put it back together and it worked. But I was probably coding, probably before the word coding really existed. But, I was learning back then, and that was, way back. And then my uncle, he was always, fixing, things, TVs, and, I was just watching him do things with, little resistor wires and things like that. And all of that intrigued me. So I stuck with it, during high school. And one thing about that, organizations such as WeCode and Esteem Village and all these other organizations that are doing technology didn't exist. I mean, any of those type of programs did not exist back then. So I am so excited for our kids of today that have organizations such as the Black Family Technology, because we didn't have that to help us get to the next level. But I stuck with it, started going to school, taking computer information. My mom worked at Honeywell. She was in engineering, and, she wanted me to continue down that path. I went to college, started doing electrical engineering, and didn't like that, but I switched to computer information because I love being behind a computer and creating things. So that's how I really got started.
That is powerful. And the reason why it's so powerful, because you had parents that, anybody else would have been in a world of trouble for taking apart a computer as expensive as they was back then. But she said she took it apart. And my words to you would have been, when you put it back together, it better work. I would have recognized that there's something about you, but I'd have been like, hey, you better make it work when you put it back together. You're going to have a problem. But I mean, imagine, you lived in a world where parents knew to buy you my dad used to buy those kits where you talking about the electrical resistor kits where you put the stuff and it lights the light bulb up.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad used to have those. He had puzzles, he had things like that. And I don't think people understand how that helps the logic in the brain to understand how to function in computer. Because I am so old that I took basic and I did CAD before it was AutoCAD. I went to Van Horn. So you have to program everything. Back and people say AutoCAD. And when I first heard that term was in 2020, I said, "What's AutoCAD?" They was like, I said, "Oh, they automatically do everything for you now." Okay. So that's the reason why I truly, and like you said, Esteem Village, Black Family Technology Awareness Association, what you all are doing, because you're doing it in the Black community. And the one thing I noticed when I took that class, and it made me wish that I had finished, because I didn't finish high school and I didn't stick with the engineering, but I was a lot more advanced than the other Black people in the class, especially the Black women. And they were telling me, they're like, "You're getting it, you're just overthinking it. We need you to stop thinking so much because one of the instructors sat down, he said, "You got it." He said, "You got all these notes. I don't know what all these notes are." He said, "But you got it." He said, "You're just overthinking it." But there were us who sat in the class and were as lost could be. So tell us first off, I want to know what's the earliest ages you work with?
Oh, wow. We start at 7 years old. Now, I have had kids come in at 5 years old, and they were coming in because they were with their sisters and brothers, but they started working with, we even, started bringing out Legos and things like that. It clicks with these kids so quickly, like they have no fear. They have no fear whatsoever to learn anything that they want to learn, to try to figure it out. They're not afraid to fail. They figure out, if something doesn't work, they try it another way. So one thing that I love about coding in overall, that it helps with problem solving skills. It helps boost these kids' confidence level, and it also helps prepare them with critical thinking skills. I mean, coding and technology is a pathway to open up so many areas, and that's why I love watching these kids try to figure things out. I'll bring in a project such as a Raspberry Pi, which is a really small computer, and I'll take it apart. I may have put something together, like we created an Alexa, for instance, with a voice hat. I took it apart and I just asked them, "Hey, put it together." And these kids are so excited about trying to figure it out. So it just opens up a world of, awareness for these kids to start learning about technology. But yeah, 7 years old, to answer your question. I'm sure that was a long way around that.
No. Resources. Go ahead, George. Go ahead.
For those that don't know, my passion is definitely STEAM. I'm a STEAM educator. I will always continue to be that. So I can tell you some STEAM resources, especially for those that are working with very young age groups. Kiwi crates. Those are really simple. They come with instructions. You will have fun as an adult. They will have fun as a kid. Just do those crates. It goes all the way into Tinker crates as well. And then another avenue that I would say look into for those that are looking at it, Project Lead the Way. It is a national STEAM curriculum. I am Project Lead the Way, Gateway to Design Engineering Certified. So I did this, and shout out to Brother Wells. I got a lot of support from him. But doing that curriculum, learning those avenues definitely enhances and it brings out the 4 C's of our 21st century learning, which is collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and now I'm forgetting the 4th C. But we'll get back to it, communication. So those 4 C's are there: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And I love Tammy. I don't know if you know who I am, but I've known who you are. So I just added it on my LinkedIn because I was like, WeCode. I know what WeCode is. And it's something that's been around for years. So those that are watching it, you're tuning into some greatness.
Thank you. Yeah, Project Lead the Way is amazing. 2 of our instructors are Project Lead the Way certified. So love that platform. Absolutely.
And Project Lead the Way, they are they go actually into the schools.
Yes.
They are allowed, and we were trying to get them into one of Kansas City public schools way back when we first heard about them. I think it was 2013
Mm-hmm.
or 2014. Whenever they first started coming in the schools around out of the district, the suburban schools. So,
Right.
but we're going to get back to okay, this is one thing I want you to, it's gonna sound redundant, but I'm gonna keep having you tell people how to contact you. It's gonna be kind of like a commercial. You know, we're gonna take your little break and tell people how to get in contact with you. So go ahead and let's do that now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can definitely contact us on our website at WeCodeKC.org. You can email us at learntech@WeCodeKC.org. We are working on some amazing sessions right now. We will have Spring into Coding that's going to be starting in March. So definitely reach out to us on all social medias at WeCodeKC.org. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course from our website. So, yeah.
Okay, so now that she's y'all, it's gonna sound redundant, but we need Black people in coding. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. When you look at they would tell us software engineer or mean stack, but I learned mean stack was supposed to be full stack.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the software engineering and the stacking and the coding and the cybersecurity, we are highly underrepresented.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is one of the things. I have a friend and they brought him over to the US from an African country. I'm not going to say what country he's from because he could put his life in danger, but they literally brought him in as a computer scientist, or that's his major. And he's making almost $375,000 a year.
Yes, ma'am.
Coming in, y'all.
Yes,
coming in 300, and he was educated in an African country, and they brought him over to, I want to say it's Amazon. Now I'm not sure because I was so excited when I saw it. I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah.
$370-something thousand a year coming in with and what you're doing is you're leveling the playing field.
Yes.
We're often told that we often hear from our people, they keep us out the jobs, we don't have, but okay, so what would you say for adults? What would you say would have to be the prerequisites in order for that they should have to get? They can go to community college and they can go to Coursera online and take. What would be the prerequisite that you would want them to take in order to grasp what you teach?
So you know what?
The adults and the high schoolers on up, what is your prerequisite?
So one thing about that, because you know everybody think that technology you have to have a 4-year degree. You don't. You don't need a 4-year degree to get jobs that are making 6 figures. I'll be very open and very transparent. This is a very lucrative career path. I've made 6 figures, you know, in technology. It is a path that you would want to get involved with to definitely increase your income. There are certifications that you can take online. I've seen so many people take online courses and are making dollars that, you know, change the trajectory of their life. And when I say that, I'm meaning, you know, some of these kids are coming out of high school that have gone through some of these programs can literally make $60,000, $70,000 a year coming out of high school. And that is our plan right now. We're working with young adults post high school up to 26 years old, going through certifications. When they finish, we are pairing them up with business partners, internships, scholarships, as well as apprenticeship, so that they can get jobs. I mean, that way they can get these certification, no student loans. I mean, just imagine coming out on top without having student loans. I mean, that's so important alone. You think about kids coming out of 4-year colleges and they have so much student debt. How can they even, you know, get a decent job and still have to pay back all these student loans? Our goal is to just eliminate the student loan and get these kids certified so that they can have jobs that that pays very well and they can continue to grow into those jobs. So we're talking about certifications such as CompTIA, certifications, CompTIA, that would be a IT fundamental, just that's a basic, like a basic 4-week class pretty much. And they can go walk in with making $50,000, $60,000 and then continue to grow and start taking other courses that would turn into, whether it could be anything from a full stack developer to even a project manager or even big data, so data analytics. So it's not just, you know, because you're in technology and you have to be a software developer or a software engineer. So many other paths between project management, data analytics, UX, UI, graphic design. These are all paths that are still in technology and could lead to very lucrative career paths.
You literally, I'm if y'all wonder what I'm doing while I'm looking down, I'm sending this video into certain Facebook groups that I'm in because they truly, you said somebody can come out of high school and take a 4-month class and jump into 50 and 60 for a week. 4-week class, y'all. Y'all don't even literally, I'm gonna say this because I'm a lady trucker, been trucking for 25 years. And the only time that I've ever heard of somebody, and this ain't even a 4-week class, this is a 6-week class, and you come out making 50 and 60,000, that's in trucking. But you up all night, or you up all day, or you sitting for a long period, and you don't have any freedom. And with what she just said, a 4-week class taking high schoolers and putting high schoolers in, placing them in positions where you make $50,000 and $60,000 a year coming out of high school. That's the equivalent to what was going on when we were children and when our parents were children, where they were taking the children and taking the high school students and put them in trades inside of the high school. And then they came out of the high school with a trade, making good money going into the union. But this right here has stepped it up, even though we still need trades. So I encourage y'all to send your children who are not interested in STEM, go into trades, because somebody tried to charge me $1,700 to put a shark bite connector to my water heater. So it's money in that too. But she's literally saying 4 weeks and they don't have to ever worry about a college bill. Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 children. All 5 of my children have been to college. All 5 of them. Some is like, hey, I'm gonna take a year off because it ain't for me. Some was like, it ain't for me. Yes. One, she's heading towards her PhD right now. And regardless, all of my children, when they went into school, they had to work endlessly and tirelessly in high school in order to make sure they didn't step into university with this humongous bill.
Exactly. And that's the problem with some of the kids. You know, some kids don't want to go to college, don't have the funds to go to college. And college just is not for everyone. And I say, like you said, with the trades, different skills, a lot of schools don't even have, I mean, when we were going to school, there were shop classes, there were home ec classes, you know, there was, you know, people would go to Joe Herndon. I remember it was Votech for hair, all of those different programs that are no longer offered in high schools anymore. So programs such as WeCode and Esteem Village and Black Family Technology and some of the other ones that may be doing trades, these are what our kids need that do not want to go to college so that they can still provide or have a way to make an income.
And now y'all see why I call her Kansas City's hidden figure in my live video. For those who watched my live, and I've always told her that Tammy Buckner is Kansas City's hidden figure. She's our unsung hero. She should be all over Kansas City media with what she's doing. She, Black Family Technology Awareness, Mr. and Mrs. Walker, and Esteem Village with William Wells. Esteem Village with William Wells. they should be all over our Kansas City media, but instead we focus on the wrong things. And I've encouraged a lot of young people. I've even messaged Tammy, hello, Tammy, I have such and such in this message. They have a child that they said, and I don't know if the people follow through or not, but I just know that I want to get them to the right person. I tell them about the BFTAA and the East 10 Village, only because our people, and I'm just going to say it, y'all, you know your kids want the nice flashy cars. You know your kids want the nice expensive clothes. You know your kids want to be able to buy a rollie and get a house and roll up and put. I'm gonna tell y'all this one thing. When we got our money from trucking, me and my ex-husband did dumb stuff with our money. We was getting pulled over because they thought we was drug dealers. And we was like, no, we truck drivers. But she's literally, BFTAA and East 10 Village, they are literally providing our children with a level playing field, not just children with Tammy Buckner's program, young adults and women. Yeah. Women, here's the thing, and I've always tried to get women into trucking because I'm like, listen, you don't have to struggle. Get in trucking, you make the grown man money. But no, Tammy Buckner, she's helping y'all make some grown money. It ain't grown man money, it's grown folk money.
It's grown folk money. And it's difficult being in technology as a Black woman. I mean, I tell you, I can talk so many stories about that. We know technology is a white dominated male industry. We know that. I've been in this space for many, many years, and majority of the time I was the only Black person, let alone Black female. And a lot of times we get overlooked. A lot of times, promotions get sent to someone else. I can be in a room and I say something, I get over, no one is listening, but the same thing is said in a different way by someone else that does not look like me. And all of a sudden it's the best thing since sliced bread. So it's like, I know that could be a very difficult position to be in. And a lot of times this is why women get out of technology. This is why minorities get out of technology, because it is a struggle. It's a challenge and it hurts. But that's one thing that pushed me to start working with young adults, working with my business partner, Dr. Philip Hickman, that we started WeCode so that we can get in the community and make these changes so that people can see us. Our kids can see people that look like them that's doing the same thing. And now they feel comfortable with saying, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Not only our kids, but also women. When other women see, Black women in technology and making a difference, now they're like, wow, I really can, whether it's change a career path or just get into technology. I had a long conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and she's going through the same thing. Two of her developers, she is in IT, two of her developer, and it's just basically like demean some of the things that she's going, and it's difficult. It's hard. Like you're there and you feel like you're by yourself, and like I tell women when I talk to them, never let them see you sweat, never let them see you cry, go to your room, go to your car for a minute, cry it out and come back and, keep at it. But because it's so worth it. It is so worth it. And I'm sure trucking and industry as well. It's worth it. We have to change our mindset of when we want to make a difference and, different career paths.
And you're absolutely right. And I was going to say that you know what it's like literally to be in trucking and you've never been a truck driver, only because the same thing, you the only Black woman there, technically, majority of the 99.9999% of the time I was the only woman there. So like you said, I could say something, and I think I made a Facebook post about telling them how to get some trucks unstuck, and everybody ignored me, and I've been sitting there, and they had me sitting on the clock for almost 4 hours, and they decided to do it my way, but it was their idea, it wasn't mine. So I understand what you're saying, and like you said, you were basically telling them, hey, y'all basically being like Jackie Robinson. So, you gonna go in and somebody might slip that word, and no matter how upset you get, you can't say anything. You gotta take it to corporate. Corporate has to say, oh, well, it was just a slip of the tongue. It's not gonna happen again. And then you keep moving. You can't, like she said, you cannot let that stuff stop you. Yeah. Now, I have a good question. Someone just inboxed this to me because they're watching. They said, what about the people who no longer want to live in the US, but they want to work remotely? Is that doable for Black people?
Absolutely. Absolutely is doable. I mean, right now, mostly everything is remote. I mean, I have developers and we work in different locations. I mean, I have 4 developers that are here locally, but I also have developers that are outside of Kansas City. So we're all working on the same project. It's the majority of the time that you have to set up specific systems so everybody can work with one another. And just like Zoom, we do stand-up meetings, we discuss the project, we send out tasks and which developers, we work in one system. So they may be doing a repository in GitHub, which is where, you know, they're all doing their work. And yeah, absolutely. Technology is probably one of the best industries to work remote in. So absolutely, yes.
I was going to say, as someone that's in human resources now and recruiting, the tech field is probably one of the most dominating and highest paying fields currently to date. And I love the fact that you've already mentioned you don't have to have degrees, but you do have to have certifications. You can't just come in and say, oh, I'm a good at coding, but you don't have a coding cert. So get the certifications and then begin to practice. And if you want to get even more technical, go ahead and start yourself a business and have them pay your business and you pay yourself from that. So that way your business is earning a profit while you're earning an income as well. That's a little tip. I shouldn't have said that, but here you go.
I like
that's actually a trucking tip I give too. So you just let go some of our consultation, George. But they needed that. They needed to hear that blessing. But go ahead.
Especially when people are just getting involved and they don't know how to get started. As you're getting started, create a portfolio. That way, when you go into these jobs, they can look at your online portfolio. I show our kids how to create that. So now when they start, they've already started working on websites. So now they already have a portfolio of websites that they have been a part of and they have contributed to. And when I say these are not websites that are just, you know, these fly by night. These are websites, you know, that are generated from our business partner. We had a recent business partner donated $20,000 so that our kids can not only learn, but work with our senior level developers, and they developed a website and a mobile app for them. So these kids have an amazing portfolio that they can show right out the box. I mean, these are like 13 and 14-year-old kids that's making good money. So our system that we have an earn as you learn system, that we get a chance to pay our kids to work on projects for our business partners.
Okay, so I have a question. Have you sent your flyers out to all of the schools in the Kansas City area? I need you to tell me what schools in Kansas City won't let you come in and recruit them babies. Because my mouth get to running and they be like, okay, here she goes. We'll give her what she wants. So I don't want you to call out the schools, but I want you to say we have 3 schools or 2 schools, and you can name those schools because then it tells us who else we need to get you in with.
Yeah, we are definitely working with the school district. We are about to go to the Kansas City public school district. We didn't want to do that too quickly because we wanted to start a little small, to test out different pilots. And as we were continuing to grow and bringing on more mentors and instructors so that we can have enough, because we already knew what the capacity level was. And when we opened it up to the schools, we want to be prepared for that. We didn't want to fail because we know that it would be a huge, response. So we just kind of wanted to start slow. We initially started in De La Salle Education Center, which was a great pilot for us. Now we are rolling, we're adding more mentors. So I encourage anyone that's even in technology that wants to help our community be a part of the program. Excuse my dog because he's acting crazy. But anyone that's in technology that would like to be a part of our program, please, come a couple of hours a week, a couple of hours a month. I encourage you, not only just WeCode, but so many of these other programs, get involved. Our kids need to see you. Our kids need to see us in technology. That is so important because they will never know that they know how to build robots and build the game unless they see people that look like them. So I don't care what program you get involved with, just get involved with mentoring for our babies. Please do that. I encourage you. Even if you're not in technology, but you just want to help, come out. You can help sign kids up. You can help them turn laptops on, whatever. Just get involved with these programs.
And give them the information again to contact you to get involved.
Yeah, you can come to WeCodeKC.org. You can email me at learntech@WeCodeKC.org. I will give you my phone number. I mean, just get involved with myself and Black Family Technology Esteem Village. Yeah, I mean, if I have to go out and make a poster board or something, but I've been running into so many technologists lately, and it's been amazing. I also have a Facebook group, KC Black Tech, because I want to recruit as many Black people to help our babies. Our babies are in need of seeing us. They need this. This is to get these kids off of the streets, get these kids in skills. They need to be able to have something that they can call their own. And earlier you mentioned about different pathways. A lot of our kids, the first thing you ask them what they want to be when they grow up: football player, basketball player, rapper. And like I tell my babies, I'm not knocking your athletic ability. I'm not saying that you can't get into that, but you have less than a 2% chance of being a football player, being a basketball player, but you have a 98% chance of getting in technology and being a software developer. Now you can use that as your career path until you make it to the rapping or you make it to the NFL. Why don't you go ahead and make some money using technology? But then, switch over.
And that's perfect. And I tell the young people, I take the same thing, but I tell them, I'm like, listen, sports, you pretty much done by the time when you're 30, you're a vet. You old, they don't want you around unless you're playing baseball and you like Wade Boggs with your big old beer belly. So, but other than that, but what are you gonna do? And I also give them this idea. Okay, you're gonna be a rapper, but rappers need websites, they need apps, they need NFTs, they need all of their different stuff, and you can make money that way. You know how to get on the metaverse and make things happen. So you want to be a ball player. Now you have control of your image because a tech company you don't have to have no tech company come in and say, this is what we're going to do, because you can hire your own tech people, tell them exactly what you want done and get it done. I also just popped up with an idea that I'm not going to say on air, because I want y'all to take this and run with it, and y'all gonna make a lot of money off this app. Two different apps. I promise you will make a lot of money. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is that you're helping Dre Taylor with an initiative in Ghana. Tell us more about that.
I'm so excited about that. So Dre is amazing. He goes to Ghana, a few times a year, but he came to me that they were opening a school. And it's funny because I'm like, wow, I've always wanted to extend WeCode to Ghana or somewhere like that. And he goes, wow, well, we're going to open a school and we would love to offer coding. So I immediately okay, let me see if I can get some laptops. So we initially said, okay, I have about 40 laptops or so. And then someone else came to me and said, hey, a company is donating quite a few laptops. Do you need them? I'm like, absolutely. I went to Dre and I'm like, Dre, I think we have enough laptops to at least get them for the entire school. So we are working on that. It may be a little bit long journey, but I think by we're in 2022 already. So this year, hopefully we will be opening up a WeCode Ghana, because it just rolls off so nicely. But we'll get a chance to, get those kids coding. And you think about, a lot of people use people in India, for development. What about if we get these kids coding in Ghana? Like now our babies can actually be used as software developers in Ghana. I mean, this is no different than using offshore developers that are from India. Now we have them in Ghana. That's all it is. I mean, now you are able to get these kids that are so motivated to learn. I mean, after Dre told me how encouraged and motivated these kids and excited these kids was to learning, That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. So I'm excited about that. I'm so excited about that program.
And I'm so excited about that. I've been referring to people are calling me because I went to Ghana. I was supposed to be back probably 5 or 6 times already, but something keep happening. So I'm gonna just let God do what he do.
Yeah, but we need to go together then, Lyne't. We need to go together.
We do. We definitely do. But the beautiful thing is that these young people, and you said exactly what I said, because I tell people when I went to Ghana, all I saw was people who have opportunities. Why are we sending work to China when China is smart enough to outsource their work to Africa and pay them pennies to do it? I watched a little girl braid the wigs that we buy. The braided, the little girl was sitting there, and then somebody thought to take a picture of it, because I didn't think to take a picture of it when I saw it. But I was like, why she got all those wigs around her? And I was walking around by myself, and I said, oh, y'all sell the wigs? They said, and the lady said, no, we braid them, and the Chinese companies take them and sell them. And I pulled up on my phone and showed her how much they sell those wigs for. They were sewing the wigs, and they were braiding the wigs. And so every time you wear a braided wig and it's braided all pretty, it was done by an African, most likely in Ghana, Nigeria, somewhere in West Africa. Now the Asians they probably do a lot of the sewing, but maybe they're outsourcing that too, because I saw her sewing wigs. But the little girl was no older than like 7, sitting there braiding, just having fun and braiding. So when you said outsourcing, people now think because of capitalism and how they outsource so much that a lot of jobs left the US. But when you're a startup company and you can outsource for an what do you call that, administrative assistant for $300 a month, who wouldn't take that? If you can call WeCode KC or BFTAA or Easting Village and say, hey, this is an idea that I have for an app and a website. Yep. You definitely don't have to pay the big money to the companies that are going to charge you for every little upgrade. By the time you all get done with charging them for the upgrade, y'all probably not even touching what the base price that the big companies would charge you, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. We get a chance to reduce the cost because we're using some of the junior level developers. We definitely have one of the senior level developers working directly with them. So we're still able to do it at a little bit lower cost because they're junior, but it's not saying that you get less quality, because I can definitely share out some of the websites that our kids have worked on, and they are of quality, they are professional. And these kids work because they want to do this. It's not that they're forced to do it. Their parents are not dragging them to WeCode. These kids want to learn about technology. They want to learn about, cryptocurrency and NFTs and blockchain. They want to learn about networking and cybersecurity. We have a class that was teaching kids about hacking. Hacking is a job. Like, it is a real job. So we are teaching these kids ethical hacking, because banks hire hackers, so they have to learn that this is an opportunity for them, to get into these spaces and allow it to, be a diverse industry.
And I'm glad you said that banks hire hackers, because I was watching a video. I'm big on neuroscience and quantum physics and all of that stuff. And I was watching a video, and one of our top neuroscience doctors, he was the one who said that they couldn't read dreams. And then 3 years later or 5 years after, he said they called him, he's the man who they made Limitless after. The man who was supposed to be the doctor in Limitless, they patterned that person after him. And they called him and said, hey, can y'all read dreams? And he said he's in the middle of sleep. He was like, nah, yes, we can read dreams, of course. He said, then he woke up and realized the interview he gave me. He was like, no, let me clear this up. Nobody can ever read dreams. That's impossible. And when he said impossible, 3 to 5 years later, someone in Japan was doing it. But here's this man's backstory. He started out as a hacker. He worked for banks. Banks would pay him to do the best. Him and 3 or 4 other guys, they paid them great money to hack their systems. And one of the crazy parts is they actually paid them to go into the bank and rob a bank 4 times.
Yeah, because they're looking for holes. They're looking for
Rob a
holes.
bank with a note.
Yeah.
Walk in, tell the teller, here's your note, give me all the money. The people in the bank didn't know what was going on. The bank knew what was going on. You don't go up in there with a bunch of masks. You just walk up in there with your ball cap, hand them the thing and say, give me all your money. And they want to see how their technology system responds when the teller says we're being robbed. So, and he said he made such great money that people couldn't understand why he wanted to get out of that. But like you said, hacker. They have the hacker, what is that called? The Hacker Con or something? It's somewhere, where they actually, I watched a documentary where they had the young people looking for missing persons.
Yep.
And it was hackers.
Yep.
And they have them looking for missing persons, and they were specifically focused on one man who had been missing for over 25 years. And so that was them working. By the end of it, they still couldn't find him, but the woman felt better that there was a real search for her dad. But they do find people. And these are, when you see the faces, like Tammy said, you like, these are babies. They under 25 and 28 and 21 and 18, and they're making big money, and they can take off and go to this hacker con because they make such good money. They can set their schedule the way they want. So I'm gonna have you give WeCode KC's information again, and so that people will know how to contact you.
Thank you so much. Yes, WeCodeKC.org is our website address. You can always email me at learntech@WeCodeKC.org. We'll be putting out information about our upcoming spring session, which is Spring into Coding. We're also opening up WeCode Careers that will teach kids high school and post-high school of certifications such as CompTIA, that they would have a CompTIA IT fundamental certification. I have to remember that certification. So that these kids can get skilled and get jobs. So watch on our website, watch on our social media. We'll be posting this out. We're excited. So many organizations are supporting our program. I do have to let this out because we'll be working on this. We recently acquired a building on 25th and Prospect that we are creating a makerspace. I'm excited about that. That has been a dream of mine for many, many, many years. If anybody has ever talked to me, they probably get tired of me talking about maker spaces, but I'm excited. God has opened so many doors for us, but we are about to start getting this building and just doing different things so that we can make sure our kids are, and most importantly, make sure our kids in the community are able to get exposed to technology. You think about kids over at Overland Park and Shawnee Mission, they have everything from Code Ninjas to, you name it, CAPS program. And these kids are learning skills. Our babies in our community need us. And I'll say it over and over again. You will probably get tired of hearing me say it. Don't talk to me, because that's all I talk about is our babies in the community that need skills in technology. That's my passion. That's my goal, to get these kids skilled up, and whatever I can do to help, I will. So WeCodeKC.org. You can email me at learntech@WeCodeKC.org. You can see me on any social media. And we're here in the community working with all these other amazing organizations.
Congratulations on your building, first off. And I am so excited for you. And to back up what you said, I have a cousin who went to Liberty schools, and she was in kindergarten coding on an Apple, on a MacBook. In kindergarten, coding on a MacBook, y'all. They hand their babies MacBooks and have them coding. And I'm like, what is she doing? She's over there doing her little coding, and it was like, it was tailored to little children.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if that's one thing that we can beg our Kansas City school district to get these babies to start, a requirement to start coding in kindergarten. I mean, you think China, those kids 5 years old, it is a requirement that they go through a coding class. If our babies can start in kindergarten, oh, these kids will be powerful.
And here's the thing.
That's the state of Missouri. That would be in the state of Missouri requirement, not Kansas City only.
Okay,
so we need to start petitioning our elected officials.
I was just going to say, can we start a petition?
Yes, that's what we need to do. One of the things I want to say is, thank you to BFTAA, East Team Village, and WeCode KC. I want to thank y'all so much, because one of the things people don't realize is a lot of people in trucking are cheating. They're cheating with their trucks, and I'm not outing nobody, but because they were not raised to understand technology. So they don't want to deal with the ELDs, and they don't want the headache of dealing with the ELDs. And so an ELD is an electronic log display, where we used to put our hours that we work in a log book. But now the ELD is hooked up to the computer, and you gotta really know what you're doing to go and punch through. And a lot of times when I would be on jobs and I'm the only woman on the job, next thing you know, my phone is ringing, I'm supposed to be at home asleep. Can you tell him how to do this? I can't tell you how many times on the Amazon app when I was running Amazon, and people were like, hey, how do you do this on the app? But because I had just that basic little bit of high school engineering and technology, and then, even long before I took the mean stack class, but that introduction to engineering and technology, like you said, it wakes up the brain. It causes you to be able to thumb through a website or an app and find this and back out and this, that, and the other. And it gives you critical thinking skills. And that's the one thing I want to thank y'all so much, and that's what I've been yelling to people for a long time. We got to get our kids in these technology programs. I went to go see Team Titanium Robotics when my kids were younger, and it was like a rock show. I was up in there like, yeah, we screaming. It was amazing. So I have one last question for you, or how much time we have? Yeah, I have one last question for you. What is your ultimate goal for your new building on 25th and Prospect, and how can any of us help you? What do you need to get it to your ultimate vision?
Oh my goodness, my ultimate vision is just for it to be a community space, community safe space for our babies to come and learn and be innovative as much as possible. Like whatever their dreams are, whatever their ideas, that's why I talk to our babies all the time. What do you want to see? If you've ever been to a place and just want to come with your laptops, just like be there so that you can be creative, because they don't know that they can be creative. They don't know what they don't see or what they don't, know, I guess you could say. So I just want it to be an innovative, safe space for our kids, and how the community can help. We're working on different ways how the community can help. So, stay in touch with WeCode KC, be a part of our newsletter. We'll continue to send information out as we're growing and figuring out what we will be doing with that. We'll be creating NFTs that will be proceeds to WeCode. We're getting our kids to start working on those. So we're excited about that, because if you look up on YouTube, look at these kids that's learning how to do NFTs. It's so easy. People think it's difficult, and it's not. It is so easy that these kids learn NFTs and can make good money off of it. So just stay in touch, continue to watch our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitters and our website, because we're very open. We put information out there, and would love to be a part of all the things that you're doing in the community.
Okay, and we have one last question. Do you need help from any trades to get your building together? Any of the building trades?
Yeah, we do. I'm learning.
Okay, so I'll start reaching out to the union presidents and see what they can do and put them in contact with you.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect.
We thank you so much for taking time of your evening. I thank you. This right here, y'all, this is how you kick off Black 365. Is showing, 4 weeks. And listen, y'all, 4 weeks, 4. And you making money like I was making when I first came out of trucking. And it took me 6 weeks and no sleep. So come on, y'all, look, yeah, and you can work from, she said you can work from anywhere in the world. So if you want to go live in Ghana, go live in Ghana. Just make sure that you get a solar.
Exactly. get these babies in some kind of technology. I mean, we got robotics, we got all these programs. You cannot say that these kids don't have an opportunity now. I mean, all of these programs are continuing to grow. And as I learn about technology and more, I love offering. We teach everything from React to Python to JavaScript. I mean, as we learn, yes, these kids are not,
yeah, they ready.
They're not just doing Scratch, which is a basic object-oriented. No, they're doing real coding. They're learning JavaScript. So they're learning HTML, they're learning Python. Python is used for machine learning. I mean, it actually can, help these kids create robots. So we're learning high-tech skills to get in-demand jobs. So let's get these kids skilled up so that they can change the trajectory of their family and their lives.
Thank you so much again. We want to thank you. I want to thank BFTAA. I want to thank East End Village. And another thing I'm going to say is people contact BFTAA, East End Village, and WeCode KC about your donations. Truckers, I know y'all watching this. Y'all know we get hit up by the end of the year on these taxes. I get back $89, y'all. I'm balling.
Hey, I know that.
So y'all better donate some of this money into these programs. Thank you again. I want to thank you so much, Jorge Fuller for the people. Those for Jorge. Next week or in the following weeks, you might not see Jorge because he's a very busy man. So he'll come in and do. But y'all understand that if y'all see him dip, he got stuff he got to do. And I want to thank Mr. Walker with KUAW and BFTAA. Thank you, Tammy. And I'm going to get started on my connections with the trade unions and see, put them in contact with you and see what they're willing to do with help you with your building. Thank everyone for joining y'all on the first episode of Black 365 here on the Lyne't Gray Show on KUAW Radio. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share and comment on the videos on YouTube. I want to build up KUAW's YouTube page because sometimes Facebook acts up. So y'all, we love y'all. Joy, love, peace, happiness, health, wealth, well-being, total enlightenment, prosperity, success, affluence, abundance, and a whole lot of money to you if you want it. Y'all take care. See you next Tuesday.
We're shining a long overdue spotlight on the hidden figures of untaught history who deserve to be celebrated for their contributions to civil rights, politics, the arts, and beyond.
Alvin Ailey was an acclaimed dancer and choreographer who earned global recognition for his impact on modern dance. After honing his technique at the Lester Horton Dance Theater and acting as its director until its 1954 disbandment, Ailey wished to choreograph his own ballets and works that differed from the traditional pieces of the time. This inspired him to start the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater in 1958, a multiracial troupe that provided a platform for talented black dancers and traveled around the world. His most popular piece, Revelations, is an ode to the Southern Black Church. Ailey died of an AIDS-related illness at 58, but the company still exists today in New York City. Ella Baker was an essential activist during the Civil Rights Movement. She was a field secretary and branch director for the NAACP and co-founded an organization that raised money to fight Jim Crow laws. Additionally, Baker was a key organizer for Martin Luther King Jr.'s Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC. But what was perhaps her biggest contribution to the movement was the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, which prioritized nonviolent protests, assisted in organizing the 1961 Freedom Rides, and aided in registering black voters. The Ella Baker Center for Human Rights exists today to carry on her legacy. Benjamin O. Davis Sr. was the first black general in the American military. He served for 50 years as a temporary first lieutenant at an all-black unit during the Spanish-American War. Throughout his service, Davis Sr. was a professor of military science at Tuskegee and Wilberforce University, a commander of the 369th Regiment, New York National Guard, and special assistant to the Secretary of the Army. When he retired in 1948, President Harry Truman oversaw the public ceremony. Davis Sr. is buried at Arlington